hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello everyone, how's everybody doing today? How are you doing? You guys doing well? Would love to hear from you in chat. Hopefully you can hear me all right. I see you there. Leah Jackson in the house. Yes, exactly. Hoping all are well this fine Tuesday. It is a very fine Tuesday as we deal with some new stuff going on. The guests that we have, some get you inspired by art, right? Show you some pro tips, all rolled into 1 hour. So it's a lot going on. Stony Braswell's in the house. Oh yeah. Awesome. Michelle is in here. Oh, that's my favorite comment. Thank you. Kellen, good to see you here as well. Cool. So we're going to go ahead and dive into this, because I know your time is valuable. Most importantly, I'm just glad you guys are here. But you can see we have some cool artists, designers, and photographers. And they've been going on since yesterday into today, all week long, essentially. Here are our guests that hopefully you guys have caught some of this. And hopefully the resolution is okay. It looks a little, okay. It's actually not bad. Yeah. Let's just take a look at some of this awesome work for, say, lettering for a summer festival, which sounds like so much fun. Why not? I'm in the mood. I'm ready to party this summer, right? Hopefully you guys are as well, right? Also, video editing this afternoon from 12 to 2 with Fabiola, Lara. But let's kind of check out their work and then talk about what we have on Wednesday and Thursday as well. So I'll just go ahead and find my mouse and get into the goodness that is these amazing artists, like what you see here. So Courtney Sooner, I don't know if you guys caught some of her session yesterday. It's going on after we have a daily creative challenge today, but then into her work, which you gotta love her work, right? Look at this. This is a lot like the Blenny font, very similar sort of style. You can see this great typography that's happening, right, that she does, which again, this is like right up my alley, so I think this is really cool. What's up, Rick? Bojana as well, Sam Peterson, Sean's in the house. So again, very cool work. We could, I could always show you how to do some of this stuff. This is kind of cool too, what we have going on here. This hints at some news that I have to talk about too, kind of that style. But Courtney Sooner, awesome work. Also, we have Fabiola Lara. She does a lot of social media type work, so hers is going to be all about how to do some video editing, as you might have seen yesterday. A lot of Premiere Pro work. So thank you so much for posting that, Sam. Appreciate it. You can see a Chilean-American illustrator, designer, overall content creator. What? She does it all. I wish I was that cool. I'm not that cool. So anyways, pretty awesome. Having those two, sort of creating an artwork, because like you could create the coolest illustrations, but if you don't really let the world know about it, I don't know. How are they going to know you exist, right? What's the point? I don't know. First off, you can create all you want, but there's also value in sharing with the world. So you got to do both. You got to be a Courtney, right? And you have to be a Fabiola at the same time would be the goal. Okay? Frank's in the house. Alrighty. So let's also take a look at what we have for Wednesday and Thursday, which again, bring your photos to life with Sin Lagos. It's Adobe Creative Resident. And again, it's cool that we always kind of focus on sort of each discipline across all of creative. So photography in that case, brand identity for a plant-based kitchen with Annika Agarwal, which I don't know if Annika's here, but she's actually a community member, which I think is pretty awesome. That also started just like creating work and now does and has now been a guest, and she live streams a lot. So that's super cool. So you can see Sin's work. Again, Google her. She has a pretty simple name overall. I just don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, so that's horrible. But in general, you can kind of check out, again, her work, which is super cool, and she'll dive into that. This is Wednesday and Thursday. Yes, 9:30, 11:30, and then from 12 to Annika's work as well, which is creating some brand identity, which is awesome. Is Annika here? Oh, she is here. See, Annika, I knew it. See, she's committed, and I love it. So I think that's pretty awesome. So she is probably nervously preparing, but she's actually just probably hanging out with us. And probably we'll be doing some live streaming before she does her live streaming. These are kind of fun, your 36 days of type. Look at that, very cool. Like, that's really neat, right? So cool what we have going on. You guys get the idea. Let's move on into some news now. Again, congratulations, Annika. All right, so the big thing you probably know that's going on is the Olympics, right? Yay, Tokyo Olympics happening right now. By the way, can we just take and kind of marvel at this logo, which is awesome. I'm glad they kept it because technically we're in 2021. They could have gone with a 2021 logo, which would have been a pain in the butt. You know, it's like all the logos went to print already. They already made all the medals. So anyways, and technically there's a couple different logos. There is this logo, but then there's like the official Tokyo logo. So I want to kind of point that out right in here because they will have a contest around it as well. And this is the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games, Paralympic Games, right? Both related but different. I haven't read through all of it, but you can see right in here. This is actually I'm not going to pronounce this right. It's known as a Ikematsu Moyo. So that's what that checkered pattern is known as. So it's indigo blue. It's an elegant, sort of refined elegance and sophistication. I just love kind of reading about the sort of psychology or the thought behind this sort of work, right? So the design represents different countries, cultures, ways of thinking, incorporates it into a message of unity and diversity, which again is pretty cool. I want to show how to make this really fast. Why not, huh? Sorry about my keying right there. I think it's because all my drinks are in the way of my lights. I think that's happening. So I need to adjust that a little bit. I'm so embarrassed. Don't look down there. That's a weird corner thing. So again, can we create something like that? Certainly we can. We jump into Illustrator. First off, know what I have. If you guys don't mind, I like kind of not only that, showing hot design out there, new designs, right? Here's just a simple symbol. That's what I've made so far, just a checkered pattern, just by doing duplicating it across and then down. You guys know how that goes. I'm going to just grab and throw out a circle, for instance. Here's our lovely circle. Okay. Right. And we could change the color to white. So here's our lovely white circle. We'll go to Effect. We'll go to 3D. And in this case, we'll just revolve. So bam. All of a sudden, it's revolving around that left edge, which is totally fine. Left edge, right edge, it doesn't matter. What's important is you need to offset it. So you start to offset it, and then we'll rotate it up, and now we have that donut shape, okay? So from that donut shape, what we really want is we want no shading, right? That's actually kind of wild. We'll wait to switch that because I'm actually going to map art to it now. So the checkers that I created earlier, there's our checkers, shabao. There we are. We can scale to fit, right? Now we have it sort of wrapping around. I could take more time into figuring out the calculations to make sure they stay perfect squares. But again, that's pretty straightforward. And I hope that makes sense. So we go to, ooh, geez. Let's just see what happens. Crank that up. There we go. That also works. So let's just crank up that ambient light. So we're just getting rid of shadows that way. I could have swore if I changed it to no shading. Plastic shading. There we go. Plastic shading. That works. We could take the blend steps down too, but you guys get the idea. There's our lovely donut. Pretty simple. What flavor is it? I'm gonna go with black. It's like a black and white cookie flavor. So I'm gonna go with black licorice. It's black licorice and vanilla, so you know it's going to be popular. I'm kidding. But again, pretty straightforward. The thing I like about this, and yeah, 3D apps can do this, but from here I can expand appearance, right? We'll expand this a couple times. Expand. Right? And we can access the vectors for that file. Okay, so let's move on. Yeah, you guys are like, whatever, Paul, we knew how to do that a long time ago. I don't know. Maybe you did. Congratulations. And like Megan says, hi everyone. Good to have you here. Am I using the new Mac M1 chip? I am not. No, that's above my pay grade. I don't know. I don't know what I have to do to get one, but nor do I need one, by the way. Everything's working just fine. But and that's the cool thing. You know, Leah, am I saying that right? Leah, but essentially when you get into 3D, everything is going to be more taxing on your machine. So yes, M1 chips, huge. All the apps that don't have M1 sort of aren't built for the M1 chips just yet. But you know, Premiere Pro, Photoshop, Illustrator, all of the major ones are. So, okay, let's move on because you can see right here on my screen it says, and I don't know if you use this. I talked about this a little while ago, but I still think they fall off everybody's radar. And maybe you missed it. I think I just kind of mentioned it a long time ago when this show was like an hour long. But you have a new recommendations feature in Adobe Fonts. So all you need to do is find a font, and then down below that, that will be the recommended font. So if we do that really fast. Oh, hello. Fonts.adobe.com. There we are. Yeah, only upgrade you when you need it. What a concept. I know. But this is the thing. Some people just like have to have the latest iPhone or whatever situation it is. Like, I'm like, I don't understand that. If your current computer is working just fine, why you gotta upgrade? You know, seems like a waste of money to me. But again, it's all good. We'll go to Browse Fonts. We'll pick a font, because what are we gonna do? Yeah, we're dealing with the future, so futuristic. It's tiki time. Let's pick a fun one right here. Tachyon. And then right down below, we could say, hey, you know what, Tachyon. And sometimes the font you pick, this one I lucked out because it has different weights, but sometimes it'll only have like one weight, in which case you can go down to the recommendations and find another font that might have a lot more sort of options. So you can see this one does have like a little bit more options in terms of boldness and an inline version as well. So again, you guys get the idea. Recommendations. Smart guys don't waste money. Yes, it is a waste of money sometimes. Like, come on. Everybody, do you guys feel guilty? Like you'll have like a little technology graveyard. Do you guys have a drawer of old devices and things and like that work perfectly fine, but they're a couple years old? I feel so guilty about that. And yeah, that's something that's happening. All right. Let's move on to like other info and resources. So again, I didn't know whether to file this under news or not, but if you guys use Logobook, please do. Or at least check it out again. File this under inspiration is really where this needs to go. You know, because if you check out Logobook, it's like, hey, here we are. Coming in here, just go to logobook.com and you could see sorted by letters or numbers. So if you are doing something for the Tokyo Olympics and maybe you want to start with O for Olympics, click on O and you get about 1,000 different versions of an O. As soon as it loads, be my friend. Okay, all these different options and sort of like logos based around this letter O, which again is just a good resource, and it's a good thing to check out if you're making a logo to make sure what you're making isn't already used by someone else, that somebody can point to you and say, hey, you know what, you're ripping me off or whatever, you know? And again, just keep that in mind. I like Logobook. I love it. And I'm just letting you know about my resources because this is all about new news and things you need to know about. Such as another thing that a lot of this stuff gets posted to Behance. So we have our resources for our logos. We talked about recommended font recommendations. And I want to kind of like talk about at least the font that I consider the fonts of the week. So again, this is Paul's pick. You can have your own. It's okay. But this lovely font Tablon, and it is from Pixel Surplus. So jump out there, boom. This is what it looks like. And by the way, again, this stuff gets published out to Behance, so you'll find this on Behance as well. But I'm going straight to the resource right in here. It is free, by the way, and you can also donate, which is cool. So Tablon is pretty awesome. If you kind of want to go with that, again, I mentioned futuristic look, you know, that bold with a little roundness, excuse me, which is awfully nice. So I like Tablon, and there it is, right? So for these fun, excuse me, uses of the B and the R and the E, right? Super cool. You're black, you're medium, you're regular, you're rounded. So I think it's pretty cool. Thank you, Sam. And again, they have a ton of resources. That's why I'm always like talking about them, because they have all these free fonts you can download. So again, going beyond, if the 14,000 plus fonts in Adobe on Adobe Fonts doesn't work for you, then you do have this resource. All right. Cool. It's boxy, but it's safe. Yeah. I don't know. I think we're in this era of like, I don't know. We're definitely in this era of sans serif fonts that just have a little bit more character, right? They're not sort of machine type fonts. They have a little bit of character to them. That's all. But speaking of characters, let's take a look at some more fun creative that's out there for people that you may or may not know. Which again, out here, sort of a couple top picks, kind of based on illustration, and some more interesting uses of actually some great photography. Now, tell me if you guys know this person, Sarah Cunil. Sarah Cunil does amazing work, and I feel like I should know her, and I don't know if she's done anything for us, but again, just a shout out to all of her work, because you take a look at it, you're like, wow, she put a lot of work into this, right? If we take a look at some of these, and you would think initially, yeah, it is a lot of work, but again, a lot of this stuff is being mirrored, right? So it's like you can potentially only build out half the illustration and then flip it. There's so much more going on than just that. I don't mean to simplify or anything like her skills, because she's amazing. But you can, like, once you create this shoe, you know, it's a matter of flipping it, moving it, making a different shoe, right? And sure, you might say it's easy, but you know what? She's the one doing it. So I think that's pretty awesome. And like you just said, great use of color, right? Yeah, does anybody know her? Does anybody know Sarah? Because I think we should get her on. Oh, there she is. So she is doing some stuff right here. So anyways, we just need to get her back on the official schedule. So on this note, like Sarah's work, right, let's take it to another level. Let's take it to the physical, by the way. So I'm going to jump out to, again, Zim and Zoo from France, creating what looks like lovely Adobe Illustrator illustrations, but they're actually real paper. So that sort of same style, again, easily created originally on the computer, printed out, you know, and now you have these sort of paper cut items making these illustrations, which again, I thought was like really cool, you know, taking things to the next level. And this here in particular is a background for Hermes video conferences, which again, it's pretty darn cool, you know. Also reminds me of Kelly Anderson, who does a lot of sort of paper cut sort of art and a lot of advanced things with paper. So again, super cool. It makes me want to do this for, you know, the background behind me as opposed to a green screen. So, right? Mind blown? Yeah, mind blown. Look at this. Again, clearly paper cut. A lot of this actually might even be construction paper, because notice how there's no white edges on a lot of that. So again, super cool. You guys get the idea. One more I'm going to jump out to, which is photography related. You ready for this? Jan Erik Wader right here, of course, in Germany. And this is going to be Iceland photographs. I don't know anything about this, but this inspires me. This amazing sort of mysterious photography that he does. Because I think with photography, you're always like, you know, make sure the subject stands out and you want clarity. And I feel like the opposite is happening here, which is really cool. You know, I mean, look at how magical and mysterious these look. Again, so nice. And this too can be done using, say, Lightroom or Photoshop or Adobe Camera Raw, because there is a slider for dehaze, right, to remove the haze. But what about adding haze and adding some mystery to a photograph? You know, and actually maybe we could do that. Let's copy this image. Just so you guys know what I'm talking about, pasting that in. We'll make that a smart object. And we'll go to Camera Raw Filter. Okay, it's in a couple different places. I could also open up Lightroom, but I don't have Lightroom open. And right down here, here's Dehaze. So we could try to kind of see what's in that sort of photo. And this is your intention, like as a designer, you're like, oh, I'm gonna dehaze this because I can't quite see that bird, right? Or you'll be like, okay, I need to add some clarity, you know, and then increase the exposure. I feel like I'm not making it any better, right? I made it clearer, but that's not necessarily better. So again, here's Paul sort of like dehazing, right? Maybe not as good. Of course, not as good as the original that has this very mysterious look. So again, just a pro tip for you, which leads me into pro tips, just so you know. And geez, I'm down to my last couple minutes here already. This goes by way too fast. Thanks for if you're joining me elsewhere. Sorry I haven't been looking at that chat. Oftentimes I get too many screens going on. And also if you're joining me on YouTube, thanks for joining me there. I also wanted to kind of talk about the iPad as well. Again, just these little tips, little pro tips that you may or may not be aware of. You all know about sort of repeating vertically, radial repeat, grid repeat, all that stuff. But also this button right up here at the top. You know, once you've worked on your design and even used your fonts, right up here, how you can go ahead and send this to someone else. So invite to edit is pretty new, and I'm just letting you guys know about it, huh? Right? That's all you have to do. Type in their email associated with their Adobe ID. They'll have access to this file, and you can both kind of work on this. So one of you can work on the illustrations for the butterfly. The other one can sort of work on the typography as I'm doing right now. And can we just say how awesome this is to actually just have this long list of fonts that you can jump in and select. And then if you want more fonts, you could also install those through the Adobe Creative Cloud app, which I think is pretty cool. Oh, Stony Braswell's done this once. Hey, that works. Awesome. Well, very cool. And again, super fun what you can do. So down there at the bottom, oh, sorry, you can't quite see that, but down there at the very bottom is the button to jump out to your Creative Cloud mobile app. So you click there, and that's where you can access more fonts, have them installed, all that fun stuff. So anyways, I guess a lot centered around fonts, and I guess more around sort of graphics, as you can tell. You know, sort of graphic design. But hopefully guys liked it. And let's kind of switch back over to the schedule. So let's stick around for Courtney Sonner for her amazing lettering capabilities, which is also what I'm doing personally right here once I'm done with this. So we have masterclasses on Fridays, so stay tuned for those. Until then, I know all of us, a lot of us evangelists and people are like working on stuff for Adobe Max. So that's always should be on your list of announcements. Sign up for Adobe Max. Guess what? It's free. And I just want to make sure it's on your radars. Thanks so much, everybody. Appreciate you. Carol and Sean and Tim's in the house. Marsha, Stony, Afroja. You guys are amazing. I really appreciate you guys. Consider you my friends. Thanks for hanging out with me. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.